thank you for joining us for the 14th episode of
Pharm Girls.
Yes, you heard right. Raj is back to be our Pharm Girl today. Thank you for filling in for Marcia. We're going to tell you about the new drug shortage dashboard.
Yes, that'll be exciting. We also have some legislative updates for you.
Right. And of course, we have some
Pharm Facts. I love it. I feel like our voice is so synchronous. And we also have a great VIP in the house, Cory Durbin, Dr. Durbin.
Yes. Ooh, I like the sound of that. Yes. And we're going to play a fun game with Cory, a little pharmacy, a little nerdy.
Love it. I love it.
We also have a Rajosaurus that we're going to use later. I just like doing it. So
I know. It's a very fun noise.
Yeah. Okay, so first, let's talk about the drug shortage dashboard that is being created. The NPA is working with DHHS's Division of Public Health to help address the drug shortage issue during medical surges. So we saw one of those a while back. We were having the shortage with amoxicillin.
Yep.
Yes. So shortages in multiple medications like amoxicillin and ibuprofen resulted in patients' inability to obtain medications and a substantial burden of phone calls to pharmacies to check availability. So, Raj, you tell us what's going to be happening here.
Yeah,
with this new thing.
Great. So basically, to assist the public and prescribers in locating a pharmacy that can fill these prescriptions and actually carry the medications, because it is very hard to tell, which pharmacies actually have the medications in stock, and to reduce basically the phone calls to your local pharmacy, a statewide dashboard is being created, and your voluntary reporting is humbly requested. So participating pharmacies will receive a survey link and indicate basically a green light, green supply, indicating adequate or normal supply, or a red supply, indicating insufficient supply. That information will then be uploaded on a dashboard alongside the pharmacy name, address, and phone number. So daily updates are recommended. I think that would be the best, really. Right. If you begin the day at green and run out of stock by noon, you can simply open the link, submit a red status, which will then update on the dashboard every hour. More information can be found on the NPA website, npharm.org. So that's a really, really cool initiative.
Yeah, because it should help in the future when these things come up again. So.
Right.
Okay, so on to the legislative session. It's still going on. It's scheduled to go through June 9th. Evening debate will begin in April and run through May. So we're going to give you some updates now. So
okay.
We start with first one.
So LB 181, filling and refilling of prescriptions in the event that a prescriber is no longer in practice, and LB 202, technicians administering vaccines, will be part of the Health and Human Services Committee priority package. So that's huge news.
Yeah.
That's green light on our dashboard.
That's what we're looking for. Yeah.
So those should pass this year. So that's a really good news.
Yeah, perfect. And then we have LB 548. Change examination and compounding requirements under the Pharmacy Practice Act is eligible to be on the consent calendar. There's no opposition to it, so should pass this year as well.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's really
cool.
good.
Yeah.
We also just had a hearing on LB 778. Full disclosure, when we started the legislative session, I didn't know what LB meant.
Oh,
but it means,
I don't know.
You know what it means?
No.
It means legislative bill.
Oh, that makes total sense. Yeah, we should know that.
Yeah, that's okay. Now everybody else knows.
Yeah, in case you were like, oh yeah, I know, and then really you didn't know. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So LB 778, change the Pharmacy Benefit Manager Licensure and Regulation Act, and LB 448, prohibits certain provisions in a health plan in relation to clinician-administered drugs, basically the white bagging bills. We will have to see if either of these advance next year, so there may be more waiting on these and then have to bring them again next year. So I guess we'll just see. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
And because sometimes when bills are later, the further they get in the session, sometimes it's like, oh, we haven't heard them yet, so it's not a priority then. And now it's time for Pharm Facts. Okay, so today, we're going to go back in time.
Okay, tell me.
A little history of the pharmacy. So, like all healthcare professions, the origins of pharmacy can be traced back thousands of years. I mean, it goes way, way, way back, depending on how far you want to go back. But the earliest pharmaceutical text ever discovered dates to the Mesopotamians in 2100 BC.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Were you there?
No.
You sounded like you were like, oh yeah, I remember.
I just saw Night at the Museum, Secrets of the Tomb yesterday, and it was Egyptian and all this stuff. So
Right.
I felt like I could close my eyes and I was
And you
back
were back there.
Yeah.
And what
maybe I was the first pharmacist.
Maybe
back
one
there.
of those in there was a prescription. You never know. Because then that's also when people started like using leaves and twigs and different things they figured out were like
the OG
medicinal.
medications.
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah. So the story of a more modern understanding of the pharmacy practice begins when colonial America began. So in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 1729, the first known apothecary was opened by Irish immigrant Christopher Marshall. And then in 1752, Philadelphia Hospital, colonial America's first hospital, opened the first hospital pharmacy.
Oh, wow.
But there was no official training to be a pharmacist. So
just anybody,
just doing your
casual
thing. Yeah,
Joe
just
schmoes
casual.
in there.
Give them some things, see what happens. You're in a hospital, hopefully you'll be okay.
It's kind of the standard of care these days. You
Right?
know? We'll just see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Is there an interaction? We'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
Yeah. So in these early days, many physicians found themselves concerned about the quality of both medicine and pharmacists in the country. And they founded the United States Pharmacopoeia, the USP, in 1820 to develop and publish uniform sets of guidelines and standards of practice. And the USP still functions today. So in addition to more standardization, there was a desire for more formulation and training within the practice. So the Philadelphia College of Pharmacy was founded in 1821, becoming America's first pharmacy organization and school. Okay. So its graduates would take to using the term pharmaceutist.
Maybe we should change back to that.
A pharmaceutist.
Yeah.
It doesn't roll
like
off
a flautist, you know, like
but a
somebody was
pharmaceutist.
yes,
Yeah, maybe that's same thing. To differentiate themselves from the more untrained apothecaries.
So with all the rules and stuff through the years, your pharmacists are legit. They're legit now. Yes. Now adequate training. Right. They got it.
And I'll have to look for another Pharm Fact because Ben Franklin also was involved in some of this too. I don't remember if he was like an apothecarian.
Is that the word?
Is that the word I'm looking for? Or he was a tech or something. I can't remember. But it was something to do with this. So we'll have to see.
Well, he made an impact, right? He's on the $100 bill now.
You're right. Yeah. So he did something right.
Big deal.
Okay, our VIP today is Cory Durbin, who is a full-time pharmacist at Bryan Health, working in internal medicine and sterile products. He's from Lincoln and attended Pius X High School before going to UNL to major in biochemistry. And he then went on to UNMC and graduated with his Pharm D in 2021. He has an amazing wife, Hannah. We'll make sure we accentuate that. Two lab.
She told him to say that.
She did. Yeah, probably. Two lab husky mixes, Lunesta and methylene blue. Right?
Yep.
And most importantly, he became a new dad in February to a little girl named Evelyn, but they call her Evie. Evie.
Like the Pokemon.
I was going to say, you said that was because you're a nerd and I didn't know what that reference was.
And I am too. Oh, yeah.
So you're both nerds because I didn't know. I was
Evie like the Pokemon. Evie like so everyone's clear.
Okay, so. Okay, well, thank you very much for being here with us today, Cory.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cory, so good to see you again. For those of you who don't know, Cory and I went to UNMC together, and he was my first vice regent in Kappa Psi Pharmaceutical Fraternity. So good to see you again.
Yep. Always nice to see you, bud.
Cory, first question. What's it like being a new dad? What has been the most challenging thing?
That's a packed question there.
Unpack it for us.
Yeah, unpacking it for you. So far, it's really just shown how well me and my wife work together. And so good. I think that has, not that was eye-opening in any sort of means, but
it was not eye-opening that you worked horribly together.
Yes, exactly. I think though that you just saw the dynamic between us being able to work off each other and really figure out, oh, you need me now to do, I'll do that. You go take a nap, you go.
Right.
The roles are unison for the most part in taking care of Evie. So
very cool.
For the most part, I would say the biggest challenge, luckily my work schedule has really prepared me for being able to stay up all hours of the day, along with residency.
Organized chaos is good.
Organized, yeah. So I think that it's just trying to break up my sleep and figure out, okay, what is the least amount of sleep I can operate on? And so for the most part, that I would say is the biggest challenge, because otherwise she really tells us does she need to eat?
Right.
She hates to be undressed, so diaper changes are she would rather sit in it
than
than
get out of
changed.
clothes.
Yes, so
Okay.
that has been another thing. Like, well, that's unusual, but okay, I'm still going to change you because I don't care.
Because I don't want
Come
you
on,
to
Dad.
sit.
Let me be in here.
Yes.
Jeez Louise.
Do you feel like, did you read books and stuff and felt like, oh, we're going to be prepared for this, and then all that went out the window and you were like, we're not prepared for any of this?
Not me.
Cory's just flying by the seat.
Yes, my wife got me the like dummies for dads or whatever.
What to expect when you're expecting.
She got me the male version of that.
Right.
That set on my books or on my nightstand for the remaining 12 months, and it still remains there untouched. But she did all the research, she did everything, and she's come to it and she's like, honestly, I just needed to Google it.
Right. Yeah. Google
that's
something.
All it is.
Yeah. I mean, really, I feel like first-time parents are kind of flying by the seat of your pants. Mm-hmm. You can read it all, but is it really going to be like, oh, yep, exactly that thing happened? So
we had also lucked out that my sister-in-law had my niece about 4 months earlier.
Oh, okay.
So
it's like a trial.
So, you know, I've always been a big fan of babies, but I hadn't had probably a lot of opportunity. I'm the first in my class of like pharmacy friends and high school friends to start having kids. And so I didn't get the chance to go and hold any babies up until then, up until my niece came along. And so then like, you're really awkward with this. I'm like, this is practice. Okay. I got like 4 more months before I have my own. I need this practice.
That's what it feels like. Like holding a baby is like holding like an ice sculpture for me, at least. I do not like holding babies. Some guys are comfortable with it,
but I don't know a ton of guys who, especially if it's not their own child, aren't super comfy holding.
Like, oh my God, look at that baby. Let me pick you up. You know what I mean? If it's a cat, different story.
Yeah.
Different story. Babies, though. And
sometimes that's more risky to pick up a cat than a baby.
I don't know. I feel like I got the touch.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, babies, though, no. That's good. I want to have it.
Okay, so you were a resident at Bryan before you got the position you're in now. What has been the biggest difference between residency and being a full-time pharmacist?
Time.
Free
time.
Okay, there.
What's that?
Yes, exactly. Raj, you will definitely attest. And next year, once you're out, have moved on to your position outside of fellowship, is the amount of free time you have that you're like, wow, I have a life outside of pharmacy. That's the biggest adjustment.
So wait, now did you have more time during residency, or you have more time now?
More time now.
Oh, now. Okay.
But he's got a baby now.
I have a baby now.
So you have
a little different.
So, yeah.
But luckily you have more time to have the baby.
Exactly.
There you go. It's a win-win.
Yeah. Okay.
So what did school prepare you for, and what did it not prepare you for? Do you have any advice for new students that may be looking towards residency or just postgraduate training in general?
I think what school prepared me most for when it comes to the real world or even residency is just flexibility. I think the COVID pandemic for all of us did, and I will echo this probably for anybody that would ever ask me, is like, well, we all experienced it. We all had to kind of be flexible with it. There was opportunities during residency where me and my co-resident would pick up extra shifts because we were so short-staffed. Okay. People were getting sick with COVID, so they were out and they weren't able to be there. But that flexibility is just going to be key to success that year, because also understanding that for most of your preceptors, their job is not to only be your preceptor.
Right.
They are also going to be the pharmacist that's taking care of the patients, on top of probably working on projects outside of just your residency or your rotation, and have lives outside of that too. So I would say the biggest thing that school brought to that was that flexibility aspect. I know UNMC was great with, hey, we're going to try to, rotations are getting canceled here and that because of COVID. Right. We're going to go. My first rotation was all online, and it was a NICU rotation. And I was like,
oh, interesting.
I think it was an experiment, and I think that experiment hit its rough patches here and there. But
everyone was experimenting online at that time. Yeah,
I think that was, though, set a good baseline for me to be like, oh, this is what real life is like. So you just got to go with the ebbs and flows, and things are not going to be as planned.
Right.
Nice. Awesome.
And so, did you answer what were you not prepared for?
Not prepared for? Oh, I could say a lot, but
Alphabetical, numerical.
Yeah, exactly. Where do you want me to start
here?
here?
How do you want to list this?
Go forth, you're a pharmacist now. Don't kill anybody. Yeah.
Good luck.
I think for me, I set a lot of high expectations for myself, probably some that were unachievable, thinking that I should know all of this stuff, and really, in all reality, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
I don't know, you know what I mean?
Theoretical pharmacy practice in the colleges of pharmacy is very different from what actually happens in real life in different situations that are happening for every individual patient. You're going to see the biggest thing that grinds a lot of people's gears is people using metoprolol succinate or using tartrate instead of succinate for our heart failure patients, because guess what? That's just what they got. That's what they got. And there's no proven data behind it, but that at the end of the day, at least they're getting something.
At least they're getting something. That's true. They're going to get, I would
and so
that
there'll be points like that it'll grind everybody's gears, or new grads gears, or they'll set these super high expectations and just be beaten down constantly that they're not meeting those, or imposter syndrome sets in. And so that was probably my biggest challenge coming out of it all, was just like, I have to really figure this out by myself and find me, where there wasn't a whole lot of soul searching during pharmacy school. It was very much put your nose to the grind, get through your tests, learn as much as you possibly can, pass your boards.
Right.
So.
Okay, so you're the youngest president-elect that the NPA has ever had on the board. So congrats on that.
Thank you. Wasn't going for that.
Right? So how did you get involved with the NPA?
How I got involved with the NPA was very first year. I had a mentor who was a past president, Dr. Ali Daring Anderson. I had an unusual run-in with her as a technician at my first Walgreens as a tech. I think it was one of my first Saturday shifts by myself.
Okay.
She comes in, and if anybody knows Dr. Ali, she has a fiery personality.
So
And
she'll admit that.
She's checking scripts, and I'm banging a amoxicillin suspension against just
you got to break up the powder
trying to break it up.
You got to break
and
up powder.
She's like, "Excuse me, this pharmacy is not a construction zone. Give it to me." So she took it and worked her magic, and right then and there, the suspension was finished. I'm sure she was completely frustrated with me. Then tiptoe a year and a half later, I'm accepted into UNMC. We're assigned pharmacy families. Lo and behold, who is the head of my pharmacy family, Dr. Ali. So from there, she was able to just kind of hone me in and was like, "Oh, I know this kid. I kind of like this kid.
Right.
Maybe he wouldn't be a bad fit for our NPA board representative when she took office as president." And so from there, she was like, "Do you want to run for this?" I'm like, "Absolutely. You're my mentor. I kind of like, you tell me to jump, I'll say how high." So from there, that was kind of my start, and being on the board, being involved, where everything was very virtual back then.
Yeah.
Now we're finally getting into this in-person aspect and actually having events together.
Right.
I was able to see how the board has completely grown and transformed. And so from there, when Marcia called me, there was a little bit of hesitation in the sense that I'm like, I just got done with residency.
Right.
I have a kid on the way.
Right.
Do I really want to do this?
Sounds great. Let me throw something else.
Yeah. And so I asked my wife, and of course it was no brainer.
Yeah.
Like, you wanted to be on the board. Did you anticipate this position? No, I wanted to be a new practitioner, but when the opportunity presents itself, you need to take it.
Yeah.
You got to take it.
For sure. Well, cool. Yeah. It's exciting to have you there. And I feel like, as we get more, I feel like lately we're getting people who are really excited to do new things and try
like
different
the
things.
culture change.
Yeah, a little bit of a culture shift. So.
All right, Cory, we got one last serious question for you, then we'll get into a little game here.
Okay.
So what do you think can be improved at the NPA, and what are you excited about doing as president-elect?
I would say I think our biggest thing that we could improve on is really showcasing everything our staff does, Marcia does on a daily basis.
Okay.
I don't think that gets capitalized enough on, because I think then that really will show our value proposition to then non-members and current members or people that are on the fence of, do I do this again? Do I give my money to the organization that's representing me and trying to push then the profession forward and protect the profession all at the same time?
Right.
So I would say that is going to be my biggest critique, but that's also something that I think we really struggle with in all aspects, is really showboating or celebrating our accomplishments. I am usually a humble human being, and I will not be the first one to, like, I wasn't touting this to my coworkers that I was taking on this position.
Don't worry, we'll tout it for you. We'll tout it for you.
They found out through an email from my managers, and they're like, what are you doing? Really? You're doing this? And I'm like, cool. Yeah, I'm doing this. And so I would say that that's the big part of, we need to do that. We need to display that. And I learned that from Dr. Dean Olson back at UNMC. When he came in, became dean, he was, we need to go ahead and celebrate. What are we doing here? We accomplished so many things. Let's celebrate those things.
Absolutely.
You know, that's cool because, like you're saying, it's hard for, I think, us who are in the office to think like, I don't know, we're just here doing our stuff, and what's the big deal? What's the big deal? But I think a lot of people don't know what the NPA does, and some of that is you having to say like, hey, here's all that we've accomplished, so that you know that we're here doing all these things. We kind of just think like, oh yeah, we're supposed to be doing these things for everyone, and so we don't really necessarily talk about what all we are accomplishing so that people are aware of that. So, and it is valuable to them.
The fieriness in me that likes to bring it up to my fellow newer pharmacists that like to combat me, that are like, at my practice side of, well, what have they done for me and everything? And I'm like, do you remember reading that email from our manager saying, oh, the reason we have check is because the NBA lobbying on our behalf.
Right.
Behind the scenes. We're behind the scenes. Yeah. Sometimes you don't see it though until, like, you know. So.
And so then I'm like, would you like to check every single Pyxis, Phil?
That's every single time. I don't want to do that.
I don't think you do. I think that if we continue to empower our techs to go ahead and push the profession, their portion of the profession forward, we can continue to be more efficient.
Right. So. And sometimes it is just as simple as like, oh, I can call them and ask them a question, and they're going to take their time and figure out what the answer is to it, or Yeah,
absolutely.
Being able to, Okay, so let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun. That's what I'm here for.
Okay, so now it's time to play a game of wits, as you named it. Will it interact?
Will it interact? This was a brand new game Amy and I made up. So for our active listeners, if you guys like it, let us know. If you don't like it, keep comments to yourself. But
so we're gonna do the medications interact, and what is the interaction? And then we also may get a little nerdy. Might throw something else in there.
A little mix of stuff, mixed bag.
And we have the Rajasaurus with us. Marcia found Raj, somehow a dinosaur named the Rajasaurus from Jurassic World.
Rajasaurus, Rajasaurus, an actual real thing. Look it up. Look it up.
And I said, because there's probably no keychain at the truck stop that has Raj on it for the name. So finally something has his name, unless we're in Malaysia. There may
there's probably a couple things.
It's like couple things. It's like Amy on the thing. Yeah, it's the Raj in Malaysia. So if we hear this,
that means Cory did not get the answer correct.
I like it just broke it.
You know, it like, there you go.
I just kind of broke it for a second.
Okay, go ahead.
So, first one, does it interact? I may slaughter these names.
That's okay.
Just so you know,
okay. I got
I'm not a pharmacist, as we all know.
This is a tough one then that you're going to take.
Okay, yeah. I couldn't have taken the one with less words in it. Okay. Do valproic acid, also known as Depakote, or Divalproex.
That's pretty good.
And meropenem interact?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And what would that interaction be?
Yeah.
So meropenem, actually was reading up on this. Thank you, Twitter, for always throwing out little mechanisms of action and also interactions that it actually will cause a metabolic depletion of the of valproic acid. So therefore, now any of our patients that are coming into the hospital on needing meropenem on valproic acid, we either need to consider transitioning them to a different carbapenem or, well, no carbapenem at all, actually, to a different antibiotic, if possible, to treat our broad spec or whatever infection they have, if they are using that valproic acid for said seizure disorder. If it's for something, a mood disorder, you probably don't want to use a meropenem. Honestly, I don't want to use meropenem and ever, but
echo that point.
There's that aspect that it's not as risky per se.
Okay.
Is this guy a pharmacist? How do you know that?
I feel like it, yeah.
All right, nice. That's exactly right. So no need to go into that.
Raj to source it.
Second question: how does sildenafil and nitroglycerin interact, if they do?
If they do.
If they do.
Well, they do interact.
Okay.
Yep. So this is a vasodilation interaction, and so then what this causes is with sildenafil, I believe it. Gosh, this is one that's like I've seen it. I even had to explain it to my wife then the other day because she's like, "Wait, what is this? This is always the most common interaction."
Because most days I don't even know what this medication is for, so at least he said that for me.
So sildenafil, yes.
Oh, it's Viagra.
Generic Viagra, or
okay.
Revatio that you can use for pulmonary arterial hypertension.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
nice.
no assumptions made on this podcast. You
Right.
know, PAH or ED, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So,
But
yes,
the interaction essentially can cause severe hypotension.
that is correct. Yep.
Okay.
So sildenafil, a PDE5 inhibitor, nitroglycerin, vasodilator as well. It can pretty much tank their blood pressure. The patient can get dizzy and fall, so they're strictly contraindicated against each other.
Okay. So is sildenafil what is Viagra?
Yeah, Viagra is the
Okay.
brand name, and
then-
sildenafil is the generic.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, serious question. What is Baby Yoda's real name?
Grogu.
Good job.
I didn't even know that. I had to find these, and I don't watch Star Wars.
Mandalorian?
I don't watch Star Wars.
I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I do like The Mandalorian.
Grogu.
That's fair. That's
Plus,
fair. It's good
The Mandalorian
storytelling.
is in The Last of Us,
Uh-huh.
which is also great. I don't know if you're watching that
Daddy
or not, but
Pascal.
you should. Yes.
Yeah.
Daddy Pascal.
And I just watched him on the chicken wing hot sauce.
I love that
Thank
one.
you.
Hot,
He's
hot
on that.
ones.
Yes, he's on
hot
that
ones
right
are good.
now.
We're gonna have to do like
Yeah.
a hot ones like spin off over here.
Oh yeah, we could. We could
But,
do that on the podcast.
Yes, you could. Yes, the reason that this is coming in and everybody's like, what are you doing with
Is
this
the
facial
Pascal
hair?
look?
This is this Pascal look.
Nice,
I will
yeah.
never equate to that, but you know, I'm
Corey is
trying.
pointing to his
Very
beard
nice.
for those of you listening in
Yes,
and not
if
watching.
you're not watching on YouTube, yeah.
All right. Follow up here. Do potassium supplements and spironolactone interact?
They do.
How might that be?
Hyperkalemia. So you have potassium, you're supplementing with that. Spironolactone has an ability to then increase your potassium levels as well.
That's correct. That is correct. So with severe hyperkalemia, we can have kidney failure, muscle paralysis, irregular heart rhythm, and cardiac arrest. So with the potassium supplements, that's exactly right. Especially interacting with spironolactone is just going to spike that potassium. So watch out for those bananas.
Watch out for those bananas.
Watch out for those.
That's
They're
for a lot
dangerous.
of
Watch
different-
out for them.
Yeah, ways.
It's like a sildenafil joke.
Yeah. Okay. How many infinity stones are there, and what are they?
There's 6. Or no, 5.
Yep, no,
5.
you were right.
No, 6.
No,
Yep.
6 is right.
I was like, wait.
Okay.
He's
I have
he's
the
got
gauntlets.
his makeshift glove and gauntlet on.
Yep.
And
Yes,
he's
he's
going
got
through
his
it.
Then I get my snap. Gosh, I
don't.
This one's
I
tough.
don't
now,
know
as far as
what
like
they
all
are.
of them, I'm like, this is now really gonna hurt me on my like Marvel cred.
Right.
For sure, know that
I-
there's a
I don't know
life
that
stone, or a soul stone,
Mhm.
time stone, what else? Reality stone.
Mhm. I mean, he's gotten 3 out of 6
Yeah,
so
no,
far.
it's pretty good.
Space stone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, two more.
It's really hard to then try to like
You're using this
Yeah.
right now.
Use
You're
your-
using
Oh,
your
the Mind Stone.
boom,
Yep.
Okay.
and then last one.
Raj is so.
I needed to go
Power
to the gym.
Stone.
There you
There
go.
you go,
Power
yeah.
Stone. Power
Look
Stone.
at
Power
that.
Stone,
Look at
yep.
Good. We could all be on
Nice.
charades together.
Exactly.
Charades team.
Yeah.
Nice. That's pretty impressive.
That was
I feel like I
impressive
might have
because I could
only
not.
just gotten like time.
And I might have said 5 actually,
Yeah.
because I'm thinking the glove.
The
too.
glove, yep. And
Okay,
so
where's
then you
the
always,
sixth stone?
it's in
In
the
the
middle.
middle.
Yep,
Okay.
right in the middle.
Okay.
All right. Do propranolol and albuterol interact?
Technically,
This
yes.
one's
yes.
this one's a little bit
Yep.
hazy though. This one's a little bit
Okay.
hazy.
So where you would get your interaction here is albuterol. More than likely, it's going to be in an inhalated form. So from there, you're getting beta-2 agonism, but then propranolol, because it is so lipophilic, will also cross in and cause beta-2 agonism as well. Or antagonism.
Antagonism.
Yep.
Correct. Yep. So
You could have said any of that, Cory, and I would think you were right because I have no
yeah,
idea.
Amy and Cory and I are just chatting it up right now.
Yeah.
So so propranolol is a non-selective beta blocker, so it can have some beta-2 antagonism to it, but albuterol probably not, because it's inhaled going straight to the receptor. So it's a little bit hazy with it, though. You might want to consider switching off to a more selective beta blocker. Man Babe is how we remember it.
Man Babe.
Man Babe. Those are your.
What did you call me?
Yeah, so those are going to be our more selective beta blockers. But yeah, with that interaction though, it is a little bit hazy. You do see asthma patients that are on non-selective beta blockers, but to be clean and clear with treatment, I mean, you could consider switching off to something else.
Okay. I did know what propranolol was. That was
You use it for a lot of things.
one of the words I've known today in all of this. Okay. Next, what does Superman's logo represent? Do you know this? You said you're a DC fan? I'm
DC
not a big
to a
DC fan.
degree. It's,
I mean,
The S on his chest. What does that
I
represent?
mean, you would say Superman, but I
Yeah,
feel
that's
like
what I
there's
was
something
saying.
else that's behind that I'm
We're gonna
like,
have to
Yeah,
use
I
a
did not know this
Rajasaurus
either.
here if he
Ooh,
can get
yeah.
it.
is it?
or you can just say you don't know, and then I can use the Rajasaurus.
Go ahead and
Amy's
use the
got it.
Rajasaurus.
All
Okay.
right. So, this is yours.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm still no, you go ahead.
Well, it was later revealed. It is the Superman basically, but it was later revealed in 1978 movie that it is the family crest of the House of El, one of the 3 primary houses of Krypton, with the S being the Kryptonian symbol for hope.
Yeah, so it means hope.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that.
Oh, I think I watched like a skit or a sketch on YouTube in
On
the
that?
early
Okay.
days, and I think that's how I learned it. But
Okay.
yes, the
Yeah,
S
I'm not
stands
a
for
huge
hope.
DC fan.
Stands for hope. Do fluconazole and simvastatin interact?
Yep. And that is because fluconazole is a CYP inhibitor, major CYP inhibitor. And so with simvastatin, that would increase simvastatin levels to the point
Okay.
of probably having myopathies.
Don't
and
want those.
potentially creatine kinase levels increasing as well.
Yeah, do not want that myopathies, Amy. I'll tell you that right now.
Is that where your legs swell?
No. So myopathies would be like muscle pain.
Oh,
Muscle pain
okay.
could progress into rhabdo. So
Okay.
it's a no.
No.
Frowny face, big
No.
old frowny face on that
Frowny
one.
face on that one.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Cory. Most important question. Which of the following is the best Pokemon starter? Fire, Leaf, Water, and why? We're talking Generation 1 here. Just Gen 1. Charizard. Charizard.
Venusaur,
and Blastoise.
Oh,
I guess those are the final evolutions, but you know what I mean.
that's rough because they're all so cute in that first generation too. Like, and then you're trying to, how is this going to affect me if I decide that I'm going to take one of them?
It's a life decision.
Do I want my gameplay to be harder? Do I want it to be easier in the first beginning?
This is how much he knows.
Yes, this.
Okay, now I have got a dingy question because I am not a Pokemon person. Is Pokemon like a video game also, or no? It's just the cards and the go find
it's
things
everything
now.
you want.
It
to
is
be.
the biggest franchise,
Okay.
international franchise in the world,
Oh,
and
wow,
they have
okay.
capitalized on every single
So
thing
you can
do.
play
Everything.
Pokemon
Play
game.
it,
You can
watch
play
it,
the-
cosplay it, whatever you
Yeah.
want.
I think it started out with the video game,
Okay.
and then from its popularity, the card game came, and then the animation came as well. So then you had those to then be like, we'll get plush toys, and we'll create Pokemon snacks, and we'll do just everything that we possibly
People wander
can.
around together and
Yeah, when I was a
Click
child,
their
I
phone.
had a little Pikachu plush toy.
Mhm.
I think I still have it, and my mom still has it. Yeah, I'm not ashamed of it. I loved it. It was the coolest thing.
I still have my plush toys from childhood. My wife has those hidden away in the basement in a box.
When Evie comes of age to look at them, to play with them, you're gonna bring them back out then. So
and then
perfect.
So still getting back to your question.
Yeah.
If you had to pick
If I had to pick one right now. You know, it's St. Patty's Day next week.
Okay.
So, and I had for that, I think 3 years ago, I got a Bulbasaur sweatshirt. Has Bulbasaur on it. Has a 4-leaf clover coming out of his back. Bulbasaur this time. I'm sure I'll change my mind in the future, but Bulbasaur.
I'm gonna say Cory and I will have to differ here.
Oh,
I almost always go fire. So Charmander's where it burns bright for me in my heart, but we'll agree to disagree for now.
Now, wait. So is Bulbasaur a leaf then?
Yeah, Bulbasaur is leaf.
Okay.
Charmander's fire.
Okay.
And then Squirtle's water.
Okay.
And Pikachu's.
Don't hold it against me, people. I do not know anything about Pokemon. Hit me up on Mandalorian or Marvel.
Or Marvel. Yeah, Amy's got us there.
The Disney. The Disney
The
realm.
Disney thing. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, old Star Wars movies I've seen, but don't hit me up on those because I don't know anything about them.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being with us today, Cory. It's been fun. We're excited to see what you get to bring to the board now, and where you go in pharmacy, and more pictures of your cute baby.
Oh, absolutely.
Congratulations again. Thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about some great events that we have coming up, and as we get the year going here still, we'll be adding more events also.
Right.
So always pay attention to Facebook, to your daily dose, and we'll keep you updated always on events, webinars that pop up that we're going to be doing.
LinkedIn too, we'll have a lot of stuff on there. So
totally. Okay.
Awesome.
So go ahead and tell us about our first event we got coming up, which you are involved with.
Our first event is on May 26th. We will be doing a long-term care network educational and networking event at Mahoney State Park. This will be a members-only event, so that'll be really exciting. One of our board members, Kaylin McManaman, is heading this project, so I'm really excited for it. It'll give our long-term care network a chance to basically interact and learn a little bit more about long-term care pharmacy.
Yeah, and we've got some good speakers lined up for that.
Yes. We're just solidifying our topics and our speakers, but it'll be a pretty fun half-day experience.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that. And then we've set a date for the next H-Sync event. It'll be August 4th in Lincoln. This is also a members-only event. And tell us more about H-Sync. So this is the second year that we're doing it. We did it last year. So tell us what that's about.
Yeah, so H-Sync stands for the Health Systems and Industry Network Conference. It's basically meant to bring together health system directors, pharmacy leaders, pharmacists, and have them interact and collaborate with our industry partners. Right. So as for the members only part of it, that kind of falls into the health system side of it. Okay. But as for our industry professionals, we want them to come from all over the country to have a chance to interact with our Nebraska healthcare space. Right. That gives us a chance to learn and maybe even incorporate new and upcoming therapies that could be beneficial to, Nebraskans and their healthcare.
Right. Cool. And that one's cool too. We'll have more good speakers again.
Yeah, that'll be a really fun experience.
Yeah. Okay, and then again, we've got the Fall Pharmacy Forum. That's going to be October 12th through the 14th. Again, this is a members-only event. So, as we're saying some of these things, if you're not a member, join, because there's lots of great things that you get to partake in when you are a member. So, with the Fall Pharmacy Forum, again, we'll have we've picked some great topics, so we're finding speakers right now for that, and we'll kind of keep you updated on what some of those topics will be. And always let us know too if there's something that you think would be a great topic at any of these events. Make sure to reach out to us also and share with us what you think would be great to hear about.
Yeah, so, just to echo Amy's point here, make sure to follow the NPA page on Facebook. And if you're a member, we will keep you updated in the daily news dose. You can also go to the events page on our website, npharm.org, npharm.org. So lots of good news, up-to-date news that'll be on there.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today on the 14th episode of
Pharm Girls.